Yeah, how you guys doing? This is Mr. Gigi out of Kansas City, Missouri. How you guys been, man? I know it's been quite some time since I made a video, but hey, man, I got it in. Apologize about the video quality if it's kind of blurry or whatever, man. I'll do whatever I can to try to improve it over time. But hey, I'm a small guy on this internet stuff, man, and I can only grow what I can, man. Now off the internet, different ball game. I holds my own, man. I do what I do. But let's get down to it. I really want to talk bases on this video in concern. I had some questions that came to my attention from a few people about title companies versus the closing attorneys. Okay, what are the pros? What are the cons? Okay, and to give you guys heads up, the state I'm in Missouri, and also the Kansas side, because Kansas City, we have, both the Kansas and the Missouri side. We're just that close. We can, within like 5-10 minutes, we can go over to Kansas, and vice versa. Within 5-10 minutes, Kansas can come over to Missouri. So that's just how it is in KC. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about the title companies versus the real estate closing attorneys. Okay. I'm gonna start with, in my opinion, the title companies first, and then I'm gonna slide over to the closing attorneys. What are the pros? What are the cons? What to do? What not to do? Who do you want to do business with, and who you don't? Okay. Please like, share, and comment on this video. Share with your friends, relatives, what have you, or whatever. Okay. And I'll try to see if I can make more content. Not probably on YouTube, but probably on other platforms. Okay. All right. YouTube will just probably be one of them, but hey, I'll do what I can, you guys. Just put this stuff out here because like I said, I get a lot of my business over the phone or through other videos of students and people hitting me up. So I just tell you my experience. I'm not an attorney and I'm not an accountant or anything like that. So I'm just giving you guys real knowledge from a real estate investor's point of view, from those who have taught me, those who I learned from. YouTube University, yes, and also to me being out in the field doing this stuff. You understand? Okay, cool. So get your pen and paper. You might want to take notes on this stuff. Okay, since I'm gonna lace you with some game. All right, straight knowledge. Okay. So let's talk about the title companies. Okay, so the title companies, it depends on your state. Okay, there are some states that are title company only. There are some states that are real estate attorney only. Okay, that's it. Or then there are some states that are friendly with both. Okay. Now, the reason you want to go ahead and focus on a state where they're going to be real estate attorney states only and title company states only, because you need them to close your deals. All right. You're going to need them to do all the dirty work for you. Okay. All right. So let me kind of break it down the best way that I can. Okay, so like at a title company, they do all your searches for you, your title searches. Most title companies go back on a title search 40 plus years. You understand? They go 40 plus years back, on searching your title, what you want, because they verify the owner. They check for any red flags on there. They check for any outstanding balances, bills, and also your verification of ownership, because you want to know who the hell this person is. An owner, anybody can tell you they're an owner, and put their name on a piece of paper. But when you get a contract, take it to the title company, they're gonna run it, and they're gonna verify this person is the owner. Now, okay, you want to find out if this person has it in their actual name, their husband and wife's name, relative's name, or entity. An entity meaning like a LLC, sole proprietorship, INC, etc., or a trust. Okay. So yeah, so you want to do that at a title company. You also want to make sure your title company is investor friendly. Okay. They're used to dealing with cash transactions. They're also used to not only dealing with cash transactions, but creative financing transactions. Okay. Doing the work that you need them to do. You understand? Okay. I'll give you an example. I know some guys here on YouTube and on the internet teach where you go ahead in wholesaling, get a seller under contract, then get the buyer under contract, and after you got those two documents, then sign them to the title company. And when you send them to the title company start the process, to start the search. Okay. which typically most searches are done anywhere between 3 days to 10 days, And I tell my students and people that if any company touches the 11th day, for whatever the reason may be, as the date of this video is the pandemic, so we can have a little bit of exceptions. But if the title company touches the 11th day, right, you need to go find another title company because it shouldn't take them that damn long to pull the title search on this thing. Okay, all right. So, but what I teach is you don't want to do that. No, you get the seller under contract, agree to a price, agree to a term, and a closing date and inspection period. Right. All this stuff is in your one-page contract. Okay. No matter if you're using, Google's or another coach's, it don't matter. Right. And what you do is you immediately take that contract over to the title company. Yeah, I said take it straight over there. Okay. And they're going to do a search on that title. You understand? Now, the reason I teach that way is because of the simple fact that while they're doing the title search, you can be out there finding a buyer. You understand? And soon when the title work come back, you've already done found a buyer. You've already inspected the property. You already took your pictures. You already did your videos. You did all of your due diligence as much as possible. The rest of the time you're doing, it's just strictly marketing, man. And if you got a buyer in place and he or she's ready to go, man, they ready to go. When they verify this title is free and clear, or they verify, hey, look, this is what we found on there, right? They ready to go. That's it. There's nothing else. And you bring them, you're going to have that buyer bring in non-refundable deposit. I teach anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 up front, okay? And they're going to bring that with the assignment of contract over to the title company, right? Not with you. You don't keep that money, no, to the title company, okay? And you have them, they're going to call this person up, and schedule them in to close, to get the paperwork done. You understand? To get that property. You understand? Because you want to have that buyer fund the deal first. You understand? Okay. So once you go ahead and actually send the contract over there, it's going to speed this process up. I'm telling you. Okay. All right. A lot of guys, they'll go ahead, find a buyer. After you find a buyer, and also install the seller with the buyer, right? Then send the documents over. That's like another 7 to 10 days. Nobody got time for that. Because most of my buyers, I'm going to tell you like this, they got deep pockets. And these guys, when they say, hey, I'm ready to go, they're ready to go. And when I say ready to go, they're ready to go. Only thing they need is go in there for about 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes way less. Some of my seasoned guys, they go in there maybe 7 minutes, okay? And after that, they'll go in there, they do the inspection or whatever, right? In some cases, they may bring a contractor with them, or in some cases, they'll go ahead and call a contractor. It don't matter. Go in there, they inspect, everything looks good, everything looks okay. They can see it is messed up, a piece of crap, right, that needs a lot of work, or if it just needs a little bit of cosmetic work, maybe 15, 20 grand worth of work. It doesn't matter, okay? Once they are done, they're going to contact you on the phone and say, hey, let's go. And when they say let's go, that means they're ready to go ahead and get you under contract with them, and plus bring that earnest money deposit to the table. And make sure you tell your buyer that, hey, to show that you're serious, you need to bring that earnest money deposit to the table, okay? All right. If he or she tells you, well, you don't have to worry about me, I'm gonna bring all the money. No, you go on to the next buyer. That's it, okay? Either they gonna play or they not, okay? Because in this game, it's real, okay? Your money, nobody's gonna play with your money, okay? You understand? You don't expect to play with theirs, so why should they play with yours? You understand? Think about that shit, Contract, earnest money deposit, send it to the title company. You understand? This is provided that the title work is already done. You understand, on the property. And a title company, they're going to either email this to you or let you know over the phone, hey, the title work's done, this is what's going on, this is what we found, okay? Right? Any outstanding judgments, taxes, liens, water bills, right? Liens from a plumber, doesn't matter. Verifying that this person is not that person. That's the most important thing. There's a lot of identity theft going on, or idiots, well, that's my brother's house, so that means I get to sell it. No, it doesn't work that well. That's my mama's auntie, so since she said that I can have it, no. There's a proper way we do things, And that's another thing. And another thing also too, you guys, let's talk about cash, all right? When a person says they have cash, all right, it doesn't mean they're going to physically bring a briefcase or a big ass bag full of cash to the table, okay? There's professional ways we do these things. When they mean cash, they're talking about they have this in their bank account private money lender, hard money lender. You understand? Okay, that's what they mean. They have access to these funds, or they have a hedge fund. They have access to these funds. You understand? These are cash, okay? And they're going to go ahead and they're not going to bring, like I said, actual cash, a lot of $100 bills to the table, or 50s or whatever, or 20s and shit. What they're going to do, and you want to instruct this person to do this, okay? Make sure this person actually is bringing a cashier's check or a combination of cashier's checks and money orders to the table, or in the ability to do a wire transfer from bank account to the title company's bank account. You understand? And if they're a seasoned investor, they're going to know what you're talking about. I say this, I stress this because I've actually personally dealt with buyers, man, that came to me was, man, they got cash, okay? Some of these guys I deal with, right, they from the streets. Some of them are dope dealers. I done dealt with some of the people from the Latino market, Hispanic market, and bottom line, they don't trust banks. They got the money, they don't trust banks, So you have to instruct them, well, hey, listen, do what you can to go get money orders, or get, a cashier's check, or go to a check cashing company and see if they can give you a cashier's check in exchange for all that cash, right, or a bank, but you don't necessarily have to have a bank account there. It just depends on the bank. You understand? Okay, so make sure you guys are clear on this so you guys can understand what's going on. Okay, all right. Another thing I also wanted to address about title companies is the closing. I get students asking, well, how the hell am I going to get the title company to not let the seller see what I make, or vice versa? Well, let me give you the quick tip. When it comes to a seller, okay, all right, and the buyer, in my experience, you want to be transparent and upfront as possible to let them know, hey, you're here to make money off this house, regardless. Okay, that's number one. Number two, with a title company, goes back to what I said. The title company, I'm going to get onto the closing attorney too, and it's going to be much shorter because the title company does things a little different from the attorney. Okay, and vice versa. Okay, but what you're going to do when it comes to this is be transparent to the seller. You're going to make money out of this thing, okay? All right, some of the coaches out there got scripts or whatever, but hey, I'm one of those guys. I shoot straight up, and I got certain scripts I tell my students to do, but usually they'll get the gist usually after a couple deals, okay? So what you're going to do is, when it comes to the title company, right, and the seller, right, get them under contract, keep the seller and the buyer from not communicating with each other, okay? Because you got two separate contracts. You understand? All right. Now, let's talk about the paperwork. All right. That's an easy tip. Go to your title company, and you're gonna ask them right over the phone, right? And I tell my students to do this prior to getting the title company. You don't just line them up and then send the paperwork to any title company and just hope that the title company is gonna go ahead and do your work. No, because I've been in that position where. So when they told me, oh yeah, just go ahead and line them up, and then you can call up any other title company. Any title company will do it. No, that's absolutely incorrect. Because remember, not every title company or closing attorney is going to do business the way you need it to be done. I'm going to say it again. Not every title company is going to do business the way you want it to be done, especially on wholesale deals or zero down money structures of creative financing. They're just not everyone. You can't put everybody in a box of cereal and then call them cornflakes. It just don't work that way. I always tell them to ask the title company, number one, can you do what we call a seller side only HUD and buyer side only HUD, right? Or a settlement statement, meaning the information that is disclosed on the buyer side stays on the buyer side, and the numbers that pertain on the buyer side stay on the buyer side, and my assignment fee stays on the buyer side. On the seller side, all the fees and all the funds that are disclosed that only pertain to that seller stays on his side. You see where I'm at?
Power off.
Oh yeah, my Bluetooth went off. Only stays on to the seller side. You understand? Basically, it's none of the seller's business what's on the buyer side, and vice versa. And most of them, right, if you got an investor-friendly title company, okay, right, we'll have no problem doing that. Because they know that if they expose some information, this whole deal can blow up, be gone or whatever. That buyer can walk away from the table. That seller say, hey, you owe me some money. You should be able to. You don't need to be dealing with all that shit, okay? All right? There's too many deals out here to be dealing with people who act like that they need to get more money to you, or they're entitled because you actually are bringing value to them. Meaning you're bringing a buyer that they couldn't even get. You understand? Or you're bringing a solution to the table that they never have considered as an investor. Make sense? Okay. Cool, but make sure, again, you find an investor-friendly title company. A lot of them are going to be critical and skeptical, of what you're doing. But trust me, this is what you do in your early stages. You want to make sure that you got your sword and your shield. And that means you got your title company or closing attorney lined up that's going to be able to do what needs to be done. Okay, cool. All right. Sometimes you might have to go. You might luck up out, and when you call these people, it might be your first one. You might be your 10th one. It doesn't matter, right? Pertaining to that title company that is licensed for that state and specialized in that state, and that is investor friendly, used to dealing with cash transactions, used to dealing with what we call assignments or wholesale deals. That's who you want to deal with, right? All right, that's who you want to deal with, okay? Because they're familiar with this. They know how this goes, okay? And you explain it to them, right? You're going to explain this to them either over the phone or into some closing instructions. You're going to put these closing instructions in there, exactly how you want the funds to be dispersed and what you want said and not said in those settlement statements, and also too in the HUD-1 form, which is basically the same thing, depending on the state, okay? Moving on. Closing attorney, okay? Closing attorney basically does exactly the same thing, but what he does though is he specializes, or she specializes, in basically overviewing the transaction, overviewing the contracts, right? And boom, they close them. That's it. But they don't do the search. Now the title company, they got an outside title company or a third party that'll do the search. Sometimes, in most rare cases, you'll meet an attorney that is in-house. They'll do his own preliminary child search too, and he got contractors that'll do that is licensed for that state, which is cool too, So you have to find out if you're in an attorney state, non-attorney state, or a title company state only state. So you're going to do all this in your due diligence prior to you putting these deals together, okay? All right. There's going to be tons and tons of title companies, tons and tons of closing attorneys you're going to deal with. In my opinion, when it comes to the attorneys, you want to deal with somebody who is specifically 100% a real estate attorney. They are familiar with this stuff. Not somebody who just touched bases on, well, I do traffic tickets, I do child support, and also I do killings, and then every now and then I do a real estate closing. No, you want somebody who does this thick and thin, in and out. This is what they do. They deal with residential, they deal with commercial, they deal with mobile homes, land, whatever it may be, right? They're familiar with this stuff. This is what they do, okay? All day long it's real estate transactions, and those are the best attorneys, legitimate, that you can actually deal with. And also too, you want somebody that's investor friendly, very, very investor friendly, not someone who's going to nitpick all over your contract. No, you want somebody who's just as savvy as you are, but they want to be very, 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 how can I put it, creative in making sure they got your best interest. You understand? Because you can easily find an attorney out there that will nitpick out of your whole contract, man. And you probably have already done deals on this contract with other title companies, and they're trying to find everything wrong with it. You don't need that guy. Now, if you find somebody with the contract where this particular person can actually help you and say, okay, well, there's a few things you can change, or I would actually have this done and that done. You've done deals on that? Yeah, sure. I'll entertain it all the time if it makes sense. Because you got to use a little bit of common sense. Just because they got a license and practice law don't mean you don't have a little bit of intelligence. Remember, the title company and or the closing attorneys, they work for you. You do not work for them. You understand? You're paying them to do these things, not at all. Okay? Them putting you in a position where you work for them. Okay? And the last thing about fees. Okay? I always have my closing attorneys or a real estate attorney, and also to my title company opt in. This is part of my questions. What do you entitled to get paid? Do you want your payments up front or at the end? In my opinion, to do a proper zero down transaction, you want your title company or closing attorney to be able to come into the deal, and then when the money is brought to the table from the buyer, then they actually bill at the time of the closing, and when the funding is funded in the transaction. Make sense? So then, therefore, you don't run to this title company. We want $1,500 for all this stuff up front. No, absolutely not. I would not entertain it. No, So that's why I say, fish for a title company that's able to entertain the fact that they can get paid at the end of the closing, right? Once the funds are established by the buyer or the institution that you're going to be using. Okay, all right. Are title companies better than closing attorneys? Are not closing attorneys better than title companies? In my personal opinion, I'm gonna just say this: it depends if they are investor friendly and going to do exactly what you are willing to do within your business, and if their fees are very, very fair. You understand? It just depends. It just depends. Okay. Now, like I said, in title company states, it's going to be very, very hard to find a real estate attorney. It is. It will. I will tell you, because the title companies are dominating. But in the attorney states, vice versa, it's going to be hard to find a title company because there's closing attorney, real estate attorneys all around. You understand? Not everybody's going to be for you. Just because they specialize, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be for you. But you want them to be, I'm telling you, investor friendly. They're used to dealing with cash buyers. They're used to dealing creative financing. They're used to reviewing these documents, right? They're used to it. This is what they do all day long. They're not calling you back asking somebody else for advice and what they think about it all the time. This is what they do. You understand? All right. Don't get me wrong. I mean, sure, everybody needs advice from time to time. However, but if you deal with someone who specifically does that, I'm not talking about as a side hustle, but this is what they do all day long. To the point, some closing attorneys sit at home in their boxers, man, just like a regular person like me and you, and all they do all day is work from home and do these documents. Most of them, they rarely go to court. They rarely do. I'm telling you, they rarely go to court, because they process documents and closings straight from the office or straight from their house. I'm telling you, for real. I've met a few of them that say, hey, look, this is a gravy job, though, whatever, They got a little bit of bull crap they got to deal with. I mean, shoot, but hey, they get paid a pretty penny to draft up documents, review documents, but this is what they do. Okay? You don't want somebody who's out for the best interest of their pockets, right? You want somebody who's out for your best interest of handling the circumstance, because a lot of them are just money hungry out here. But don't fret, even if you got to pay the money to these people, you want to make sure that even if you do got to pay the money, it's well worth it. You understand? It's well worth it. Depending on the cost of living of your state, your city, county, or area, is going to depend on their fees and also the demand also too. Okay? All right? Cool. And last but not least, I want to close with this to you guys. Make sure that you do your due diligence and research in any aspect of real estate. Okay, I got plenty of students and people contacting me who've actually spent money with lots of students. Lots of coaches, and my students who spent money with these coaches come back all the time. Man, my coach ain't told me this, or my coach ain't told me that, or I spent $1,500, $2,500, man, and they only send me to a representative, and this representative doesn't know anything, or VA or whatever. Dude, listen to me, y'all. Listen to me, okay? Because remember, I did a lot of this stuff through research, man. Listen. A lot of this shit that I'm telling you is all free on YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter's powerful too. Okay, you're bumping into somebody. Okay, a lot of this stuff is free. Now, provided if you keep digging and can't find this free information, guess what? Then you spend the money for the coach, but you determine if that coach actually has value to the table. If you can talk to the actual person who's in the field, if this person is actually still doing it, or the person is retired, they actually have done it. Laws have changed or whatever, but they still can teach you from their experience. You see where I'm at? Okay. But the best experience, like I always say, is your personal experience. All right. Your best experience is your personal experience actually going out there in the field and doing this, making the mistakes, making successes, and getting this shit done and kicking more ass. So anyway, you guys, I want to say thank you guys for coming over to my channel. Please click the like and subscribe button. Please share this, share. Please comment and engage, you guys. A lot of like-minded people. Listen to a lot of coaches, a lot of people on here, and a lot of them not producing the same content as one person. I don't knock one person, and I certainly don't like doing the pointing the finger thing. Just make sure, you guys. And you got to remember, this information I'm giving you, it may not be for you, but it sure can help out somebody else. This is absolutely free. My name is Mr. Gigi. I'm a real estate investor and a zero money down real estate structure person, and I specialize in getting these deals under contract with zero money out of pocket, no cash, no credit, and putting these deals together not only to make money but to make time freedom. Okay, so you guys take it easy. I'll talk to you later. I'll try to shoot another video soon. Peace.